the Borg, the most intimidating antagonists in the Star Trek universe. To them, your free will is irrelevant. You will be assimilated, meaning you will be captured against your will. As they inject you with Borg nanoprobes, you will lose muscle control of your body. You will then be taken to an assimilation chamber. You will not be put under as they drill into your skull and install the first cortical implant. You will simply be unable to move. There is nothing you can do. The cortical implant will sift through your memories, knowledge, hopes, fears, strengths, and weaknesses, so they will know how you can best serve the collective. They will then begin removing and replacing parts of your body with Borg implants, methodically, efficiently. You will be aware of everything that is happening to you. They need your consciousness to be intact, fresh for now. If they replace all of your free will too quickly with the serene chorus that is the collective, there is no benefit to them. They would not benefit from your cognitive gifts of innovation, creativity, and all of the things that allow you, and by proxy your civilization, to benefit in advance. In time, you will become one with the Borg. Resistance is futile. You may think that this is disturbing, but that isn't even the half of it. Sure, this is all horrifying in and of itself. However, there is something about the Borg in particular that bothers us all, that tugs at our subconsciousness. For some time, people have been coming up with extravagant theories about the origins of the Borg. I'm here to educate you on why, based on real-life observations, almost all of these theories are either wrong or completely missing the point. In fact, they miss the point so spectacularly, it reveals a huge blind spot in our thinking. That's a real problem, and hopefully you'll soon understand why. To begin theorizing about the origins of the Borg, let's establish a few things about what we know of the Borg in Star Trek. First, they are ancient, although their exact age is unknown, as there are contradicting statements in Star Trek about this. Guinan says thousands of centuries, while the Vaudoir put them at about 1,000 years, but this is all irrelevant. One theory that has been going on for a while is that the Borg were created by V'Ger, the powerful superintelligence shown in Star Trek the Motion Picture. However, V'Ger viewed humanoids or carbon-based units as an infestation rather than a commodity. The whole vibe of V'Ger is far too indifferent for that to have been the source of the Borg. Another recent one that has popped up is that the Romulans created the Borg, based on the behavior seen in the recent Star Trek series Picard. Now that the first season of Picard has concluded, there is no real indication of this theory. However, I can see where many got on this track, since the Romulans were said to fear the emergence of artificial intelligence, and would actively work to prevent it, and that they were hiding an ancient secret, etc. There are many fan theories out there, almost all of them are extravagant leaps from one assumption to the next, and they all ignore the real reason the Borg are so damn disturbing to us, which hopefully I can elucidate. Aside from my belief that it's unlikely the Romulans are really all that anti-AI, I myself believe that sentient AI is not really the problem. Sentient AI would have all the gifts of an enlightened human would have, including curiosity, empathy, and even creativity, something like Data, who with some help evolved to learn all of these traits. Dumb AI is programmed for a singular purpose and is unaware of the possibility of anything else. It's like the AI paperclip theory. If you have a powerful AI whose singular purpose is to make as many paperclips as it can, with ever-improving efficiency, then eventually it's going to maraud through the world and turn everything in its path into paperclips until there would be nothing on Earth but mountains of paperclips, and left to its own devices, it wouldn't stop there. In today's society, where humanity is at right now, we kind of have some serious problems born out of the particulars of our technology, unprecedented in human history. Over the last 20 years, the internet has allowed us to access most or almost all of the knowledge of human society. Human beings no longer are in control of the shape of the internet. AI algorithms on Instagram, Facebook, Google, and yes, even YouTube are now in control of what you are shown. The mandate of these AIs is not to make paperclips, but to give you access to the human collective based on groupthink. Not on your well-being, not on that which expands your knowledge, not necessarily that which is true, and especially not your free will. This AI is driven by the groupthink of the collective. However, this in and of itself is still only one element of where I'm going with this. The idea of a cyborg is nothing new, and you can argue that some of us are cyborgs today. Something as simple as a pacemaker that regulates the heartbeat, which are implanted now and programmed with very sophisticated algorithms, their functions can be accessed wirelessly. We are inseparable from our smartphones. When I thought I'd lost mine, I realized that I had more anxiety over losing my phone than losing my wallet. In many countries today, your smartphone is what you use to pay for everything. Soon, smartphones will be small enough and advanced enough that we will be able to holographically see the display without the need of an LCD screen. But holograms would eventually become obsolete. You could achieve this with special glasses, or even better, you could create a smartphone that is a kind of cortical implant for the brain. Then the images could just be projected through your visual cortex without the need of LCDs, holograms, or glasses. Hell, let's take it a step further. Let's see if we can work on a project while cleaning the house at the same time. Luckily, there is an app for that. Let's temporarily give motor control of your body over to the house cleaning app, so that while your body is cleaning the house and your visual cortex is saturated with other data, you won't even have to look at what you're physically doing. It'll just clean the house, not unlike a drone. Let's push things even further. The collective consciousness of our society, through the help of AI, is learning what is most efficient and what is not, and gradually relinquishes superfluous thinking or behavior that interferes with the efficiency of the whole. You can't have all these deviant ways of thinking if the collective is to be in harmony. No doubt in some societies, it may be law to opt into the collective. After all, it has so many benefits. There will, of course, be elements of our society that will rebel against this and rip out our implants and attempt to go back to a normal life of what they see as freedom. Perhaps these two elements of society could coexist for a time. Eventually, one would see the other as a threat to their way of life. A war would ensue. And which do you think would win, the collective or the individuals? It seems to me there isn't much of a contest here. When the collective wins, our society will have been transformed into something not unlike the Borg collective. Coexistence with those outside of the collective is not possible, and resistance to it is not only harmful but futile. Of course, the collective does have one major flaw. When given over to groupthink, there isn't much room for creative and innovative thinking. Things such as art, music, etc. would eventually be seen as irrelevant. This is the problem with dumb AI. It can do a lot of things well except be creative. Our remedy for this is to seek out and assimilate more individuals who are not limited by groupthink. Their knowledge, born out of creative thinking, temporarily and only temporarily, helps to bolster the collective and adapt to unforeseen calamities. You see, the collective must assimilate others to avoid stagnation, as it is capable of very little evolution on its own. This dire warning to us is why science fiction is so important. You have no idea how many times I see the comment in some of my most popular videos, "Hey, you know this is all make-believe, right? It ain't real." To me, this seems amazingly stupid, but this kind of thinking is also one of the seeds of a groupthink collective, one where imagination and creative thinking is irrelevant. The Borg in Star Trek probably had no one origin, but are instead a reoccurring event that happens to certain civilizations that give up their free will to technology. There are many things that could end our civilization as we know it. Natural disasters, global warming, pandemics, war. But giving over to the groupthink of a collective is another one. Taking everything you see on the cable news networks, social media, YouTube, Facebook, and others at face value is the problem, in spite of whether those issues are relevant to you, the individual, and your immediate friends or family. So I normally make videos about spaceships, but occasionally I do detract from that. Yep, most of you know this. So if you're into spaceships, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Currently I'm building a Romulan to Derridix class warbird in Blender 3D, and will eventually make an animated video revealing all of its secret abilities. Most of my other content can be accessed in an easily consumable format at resurrectedstarships.com. And Patreon support at patreon.com/resurrected allows me to worry less about spending a lot of time making quality videos, since the dumb AI algorithm of YouTube has no concept of quality over quantity or simple watch time. But I would die inside if I make nothing but clickbait for a living. Speaking of which, a shout out to Lorerunner. Many years ago, his intense talk about the Borg was inspiring for me, and a link to this video can be found in the description below with all the other junk. Until next time, space friends.